You should ask Todd if you can take a shower.
Hey, are we live?
Yes.
Okay. Hey guys, John, you got me on my camera right here? Okay. Hey guys, we got a pretty cool podcast here. Some awesome guests. Obviously, we got Nelson here, we got Sam, and we got Mike. A couple comedians in here. Nelson and I have done a few podcasts together. It's been pretty cool. You're actually a real DJ. I'm just a wannabe, but
I was on the radio. I'm not actually a DJ. I don't really think there is a DJ.
what do they call that? I don't know.
I don't know. A broadcaster, announcer. I don't know.
Okay.
Talent. They used to call him talent.
Oh, yeah. They called us that at Discovery Channel too, and you used that term pretty loosely.
You were an actor, though.
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of.
Anyways, speaking about Discovery Channel, we are getting pretty close. It's not a done deal. We're getting pretty close in signing with another show, working out the details. You know, I'd say it's a 60-40 chance that we're going to do this. And we still got a lot of details. I just wanted to throw that out there because people ask us all the time. And so if that happens, then we will do an announcement and a press release. But today we got the Hoffman Report, Sam Miller right here. He's a comedian. He's in recovery. Mike Lindsay right here. Same thing. And then you have Nelson here, and he just used drugs, but he doesn't call himself in recovery. But
Again, it was pretty bad.
this is actually an intervention, isn't it, guys? Am I right?
It is. Don't you have to be using it or abusing a substance for one of these? Or is it just for my annoying personality?
You know, so a lot of people talk about Portland, and we're getting a bad reputation. Of course, we have riots and all this stuff. But our town has gone from like one of the most beautiful, like the city that you would want to raise your family into, a lot of homelessness, a lot of drug addiction and things like that. There's a few of us that are out there something about it. I have a Sober Living Oregon. I have a treatment center that I run with a bunch of guys that know what they're doing. I play a small part in that. But when Mike got a hold of me and started telling me about some of the things that Sam and him are involved in, I said, dude, I want to bring you guys in. And I'm sitting across from you. And I said, so you're in recovery. I'm thinking, you look to me like, hey, you know, you had a few drinks, you like the beer.
Yeah.
And I want you to go into your story. But you kind of shocked me when you said what your drug of choice was and what your situation was just a short 6 years ago, 6.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Mike Lindsay.
Yeah, my name is Mike Lindsay. I'm now 6 years and 9 months clean and sober. And my last drug of choice was crystal meth.
Aren't we supposed to go, hi, Mike?
Hi, Mike.
Yeah, right. I didn't pause for that, did I?
Yeah.
But my last drug of choice was crystal meth. And I used that along with my stature to get some laughs on stage. I own and operate a comedy showcase, recovery-based comedy showcase called Unloaded Comedy. Laugh Yourself Clean.
What's the site on that so people can?
It's at unloadedcomedy.com or at Unloaded Comedy.
Cool.
You can find us that way on social media. And I book clean and sober recovery comedians all over the Pacific Northwest.
Wow.
And cross paths with Sam Miller here from Olympia.
That's where I came.
That's where you came in. Yeah. And it's a lot of fun. We're just building this thing. Started in 2017, and we've built it. And I remember our very first show, we packed out the Capital City Theater in Salem, my hometown, where I had to leave, to get clean. And it was so fun to go back and pack that open.
They kicked you out.
Yeah.
They kicked me. Yeah.
You were asked.
Kicked you out of Salem.
You were asked to leave.
Forcibly.
Yeah. So we filled that place to capacity. We took out all the tables and jammed all the chairs in, and it was a wonderful show. And now we're
a lot of the acts like, is it like all about recovery, or do they kind of mix in different recovery jokes with?
When I'm picking comics to join us and on stage, one of the first things I tell them or ask them is that they have 50-50. So 50% recovery material, 50% regular material, because they're all good comedians. And I don't want to take away that ability to use their A stuff on stage. Not that the recovery stuff isn't A stuff, but having that meld of the two, the recovery material allows the crowd, that they're often in recovery, bond with them and let them know that they're one of them and everything. And it really opens it up, and they really come to laugh, man. They're ready to laugh.
So 6.5 years ago, you were living on the streets, just like what we see around Portland now. We see homeless camps everywhere.
Yeah.
How does it go from, hey, I'm going to try crystal meth one time to where you're sleeping in the hallway of a Starbucks or the out front of a Starbucks?
It definitely got a hold of me, man. I mean, crystal meth was amazing for a short period of time until it wasn't. The next thing I know, it's 6 months later, and I'm out of my house and on the streets, and like what happened, and let's go get high. So let's just keep getting high. Yeah, that was it. Just keep getting high.
You just keep chasing it all day.
Yeah.
Stealing. What are you doing?
I stayed out of trouble with the law. I wasn't your normal addict. I mean, there's a lot of things, my appearance and everything. I used to be a cost accountant, and prior to the meth use and stuff, and I am a cost accountant today again. But during that time, obviously, I didn't crunch too many numbers other than grams and.
There wasn't any like huge drug dealer that was like, hey, do you guys know any good cost accountants out there just to kind of keep our books in order?
What you need to do is you need to work out of a Motel 6 is what you need to do.
Dude, you didn't steal stuff?
I didn't. Well, okay, here's the deal. I didn't. I had a truck, so I drove. So I was the driver. Yeah, I would drive. I didn't steal the stuff. So that's my my
that's way better.
6 degrees of separation.
I might have been a drug addict, but I had morals.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't steal from anybody I cared about.
Not directly, but I had right when I kind of went down the spiral, I had a lot of money coming my way. I had a severance package. Lost my job through things that weren't related to the drugs. Unemployment. I was doing some umpiring on the side, so I had a lot of money kind of coming in.
Supporting the kids.
Yeah, supporting the kids.
I didn't know you were umpiring while you were gagged.
Maybe a couple times. Yeah, one day it was super hot and I was super gagged, and it was like, I thought that was my last day.
We should explain what gagged by means.
What's gagged?
Yeah, that means that means really hot.
Spun out.
Yeah, you get gagged.
So I'm guessing we want to keep the language to a minimum.
Reality is just weird.
Yeah.
Wow.
Breathing is weird.
Nelson, you're talking like you've used drugs before. What's
Dude,
the story?
I did. I got kind of carried away. I mean, I was like the typical, 20-year-old moron. I started, screwing around with drugs and doing cocaine. And then a guy that I used to be buddies with had a connection up in Portland, and he was dealing. He was supplying a lot of cocaine to Yamhill County.
Whoa.
And I got involved with him. And man, it was that way every Friday and Saturday night. He'd go in, get a load, we'd part it up, we'd go to the bars, sell it.
Were you doing radio? You were doing radio then?
No, right? I hadn't even really started radio then.
A lot of people don't know. If you don't know this, Nelson, he was on the radio for, 20-something years.
20, yeah.
Nelson and Terry, Z100, biggest markets.
Yeah, and through a good portion of that big collapse of the career and everything coming undone, far away from drugs and all of that, I became a Christian in all of that because I didn't have answers for anything anymore. And I was coming apart at the seams, and found Jesus. I ended up becoming a Christian through that.
Dude, I love it.
And I'm still funny.
It's still funny.
Well, see, that's the thing, to be that there's not a lot of humor in Christianity. I mean, there really is if you explore it. The big battle between Elijah and all the prophets of Baal. They were trying to get their God to do something. He was waiting for his turn. And he basically said, yell louder, maybe your God is in the bathroom. Yeah, see, that's funny.
That is pretty good. That is pretty good. Sam, tell us.
I got a bathroom God.
Dude, really?
How long have you been?
What's cool? Hey, June 10th, actually, here in a week, I'll have 13 years.
Oh, wow.
All right, man.
Yeah, June 10th, 2008 was last time I got.
What was your vice?
Oh my God. But alcohol more than anything, because when I'm drunk, I would use methamphetamines. Once I get to a certain point with the drinking, and that's the thing is I can't smoke pot, because if I smoke pot, it makes me want to drink. And if I drink, I wind up back on the crystal.
Oh,
and that's my story. And it was a thing where my mom basically said that so I got sober at 25, and I went to Job Corps. I worked for the Forest Service for a while.
Right.
Did a bunch of different stuff. I was homeless before I went to Job Corps. I was living in a barn. Like it was a weird life. And I lived in cars. I lived in tents, and
Yeah.
Did the whole 9.
And the thing about like when you're doing meth or coke or something like that, you can drink all night long.
Yeah.
It just seems like you get a little drunk, but you don't get that staggery, jiggery camera MTV look.
Oh.
You can drink all night long, so you end up partying and staying awake all weekend long.
It was
Holy mackerel.
bad.
It would help me, and it's funny because Mike was talking about it. Like the things that got me to where it got really bad, it wasn't like big decisions. Like I made some big mistakes, and I got incarcerated.
Was that tattoo on your arm one of them, or?
Yeah, I'm not really. I'll be straight up with you. Like I'm not a gun guy. Like I'm okay with guns. I'm
Dude,
like,
you got a really nice AR-15.
I was gonna
I
say
know.
That's an AK-47.
Yeah,
drug addict and a gun tattoo. Strike two.
Yeah. No.
So you put it. So you're not you got a fish on there. You're a fisherman.
Burbot. Yeah, I used to fish with my dad and stuff.
I like to hunt and fish.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if you're gonna do tats, so I kind of like how you got them set up. Just
Where
pick one thing.
See that one?
Holy,
I got a tattoo on my stomach that says
let's dance.
Yeah. If anybody's wondering if they're a drug addict,
dude, you
got
gotta.
a tattoo. Yeah.
I wish we could zoom in on that. Let me see that again.
Oh, we got it good.
Should have put it lower.
Oh, dude,
So, yeah.
it's not.
Make it jiggle.
Hey, I don't.
Looks like something's trying to get out of there.
No,
Dude, I'm not sure that's
No.
centered.
no, I say like, no, it's not. I didn't pay money for this tattoo. This is like
Good.
this tattoo right here. Now it's Mike. No, it's
I don't
not,
want
it's
a
not a
tattoo
prison
that's-
tat.
I don't
It's
want a
not a
Sam,
prison
how
tat.
the hell does something like that happen?
This is methamphetamines. And,
Oh,
like
really?
Mike, I regret some of the things I did to get high. I regretted some of the things I did while high, but like I don't regret drugs like that. It's not like that. I regret like I needed it when I needed it, and then when it was time, I kept going even after I should have stopped. But then if I knew what it was that snapped that day I got sober, I'd bottle it and I'd give it to everybody. But that's just not
There
how
you
it
go.
works.
Dude, how did comedy come into your guys' lives? Is that something that you guys had always wanted to try and do? Or anybody ever say, hey, Sam, Mike, you guys are funny?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all
You
the
know what I
time.
mean?
Yeah, I was always the guy in the group that would just mash on everybody, and all the conversations. I'd just run it up the extreme and get everybody to laugh and stuff. And I've always kind of wanted to give that a shot. And when I got in recovery, I needed something for my brain and to do, and so I tried voice lessons. I like to sing, so I did that for a little bit. I was like, it wasn't scratching the itch. And
I
then,
didn't know that.
yeah, right. And then I saw an ad for a comedy 101 class. I thought, okay, I'll try it. It was 4 hours on a Sunday for like 7 weeks or so. And that's the best thing that ever happened to
Dude,
me.
you got to hear one of his opening.
No, you guys did. Todd's a good singer too.
Yeah,
you guys
I
should
sing
do like
too, man.
Reunited.
Reunited,
and it feels so good.
What? Let me ask you a question. So I got a picture of Farley up here.
Yeah,
A picture of Walter Payton, some of my heroes. Chris Farley, his comedy for me was just like next level. He was kind of like John Belushi to a lot of people that are a little bit older than I am, but loved his style of comedy. Are you seeing that comedies had to change to try to watch what you say? Because back in the day, we could make fun of anything. Now you got to be really careful.
I think there's some truth to that, but I think also it's how you behave. I think more of the comics these days getting more hot water about their behavior and how they treat other people than they do from what they say on stage.
Right.
So I agree with Mike. Being the person I'm from Olympia. I am a leftist politically, but I'm also not very political at all to a degree. And I make fun of myself. And so I don't even need to worry about that. I talk about my deal. My opinions on how other people live their lives are very stupid. And you know what I mean? And that goes for everybody,
Yeah, and politics now is so vicious. It's not even worth
it. Is.
Yeah.
But there's no, I don't see a place anymore to dialogue.
I
there's
don't.
no
I don't.
conversation to be
I don't
had,
do
so
it. I don't.
I
do
didn't
it
like it anyway.
I
but
don't
it's
really
like,
do
look,
it anymore.
it's
So
bad.
I don't like it. What's your opening joke? What do you
You know
crack?
what's funny?
What do you crack the crowd with? What do you
know
crack
what's
it
funny?
with?
Because I showed you my tattoo. I come out on stage and I say, my name's Sam Mule. I'm from Olympia, Washington. I'm 6'6". I'm 360 pounds. I got 2 kids. One of them's on purpose. And and I say, I've been clean and sober for 13 years. And I say, people like to ask me, Sam, what was it like when you were drinking and doing drugs? I just show them this tattoo, and then I pull up my shirt.
You're like, well,
yeah,
this happens.
I've been doing it.
It's like
lately.
this hair.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, I tell people, it's like I go, I used to smoke meth out of light bulbs, but I had to stop. And I go, they switched to those twisty ones.
Yeah. Little spirals.
Yeah. And I said, I had everybody after me, the DEA, the EPA.
Yeah, no joke.
So when was the first time, either one of you, when was the first time you walked out on a stage to do comedy? The very first time.
Was that scary? That sounds crazy. Like,
because you're on your own out there. That
Yeah.
ain't like a lot of things. That first
it's
one
you
doesn't hit.
and your abilities, man.
Yeah, it was scary. I did a graduation show. There's 100 people.
Oh, geez.
We got 3 minutes. I went 9. The guy's waving. The guy's waving the light. He's just waving the light, and I'm just killing it. I loved it so much. I just kept going and going.
Sir, I don't know if the drugs messed up your sense of time, but you are way over.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to scratch two comedians now. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Dude,
You
listen-
only went 9 on 3.
Listen to Mike's opening joke. It's pretty bad.
I had sex with a 71-year-old lady. I'm not a player. I just crush a lot. But she taught me things.
See, you did good with that because I got a visual of it.
Yeah,
Now
right.
I'd like to go.
Like
Retirement
she,
place.
she taught me things about the Oregon Trail. We met on POF. Plenty of fossils. She called me her teddy bear. When she took out her teeth, I called her my gummy bear. But don't judge me. She had the ass of a 50-year-old, okay? And every time she had an orgasm, she'd go, bingo.
Dude,
71.
brutal.
Yeah.
She's still alive?
Yeah.
I don't know. I would think so.
Hey,
She's pretty spry.
Hey, Todd,
yeah,
we have a question.
we got a question. Came in.
Philip Solheim
What?
Philip Solheim said, ask Sam about getting shot in the ass by his cousin.
Oh,
my
no.
God.
Somebody
Gotta
calls
ask
in.
that.
Somebody calls in that knows Sam. The question was,
Yeah, my
ask
brother-
Sam about getting shot in the ass.
I would
Ask
hope
me
there'd
about
be
what? There's nothing to talk about. They shot me in the ass with a BB gun in Ohio with my cousin.
the BB gun. That
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
count.
No.
Well, I mean, probably hurt.
Dude, how
but-
many of us? I mean, so I just got my buddy. I just had to call him. He got shot in the arm the other day. But I mean, we've all been shot.
Where did he get shot? in
We've
the
all
arm?
been shot. Am I right?
I don't
been-
know.
we've
I've
been
never,
shot by
I've never been
BBs.
shot. I've been shot by a
That's
BB
awesome.
gun, and I
Been
used
shot
to,
by
I
BB
used to
guns.
play
Yeah, BB
paintball,
gun.
and I used to play
We've been
airsoft,
shot
but
by
I've never been
paintballs.
shot.
Yeah.
Nobody's been shot by a gun.
Not a real
Anybody
gun.
been stabbed?
No.
Stabbed myself with a pencil once. In
Stabbed.
7th
I got
grade.
some lead in from a pencil.
I caught a knife with my hand one time, and I got
You did?
I think somebody tried to cut me.
I remember one time when I was a little boy, my grandfather gave me a knife, and he always said, "Boy, whittle away." Whittle away, and I was whittling away, and I wonder what happens if you don't whittle. Oh my God! I've got a big V on my thumb from the cut on. Just instantly, just filleted my thumb.
I've been robbed at gunpoint.
Have you?
3 times.
Have you
Was
ever?
that
Wow.
during your
Yeah.
the drug? What
What did
was
you
that?
have that somebody wanted to rob?
Yeah.
I
you?
had 37.
Give me that tattoo
Yeah, I had $37. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
and a damn
And they
fine
got it, dude.
backpack. I
No, I
guess.
got robbed out in the Colville Reservation. I was working for the Forest Service, and I was
Oh.
drunk, and I met a girl at the bar, and
Uh-huh.
she was like, "Come back to my place." And
They were all
she went
waiting
in.
for
Yeah,
you.
they were waiting for me. It's a bait and switch. That you talk about the Bible. That's a biblical hustle. For as long as people have been drinking, guys have been drinking, they've been getting robbed. Like that's old school.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, I call. Who could this be? Oh,
Can we turn off our phones, please?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
crying out
yeah.
loud.
Can we turn our phones off as
Here.
we're trying to do something
I'll shut
professional
my
here?
phone off.
But yeah, I
So-
went. They came out with guns and they told me to turn around. And I thought that was it. And then what's crazy is this is Republic, Washington, which is actually gold mining country. Out
Oh
there.
wow.
They
Okay.
got the K9 gold mine out there. But anyway,
You ever
So
been
who
any?
robbed you? Was
I
it
almost
you were
froze to
on the
death.
reservation? Was it Indians?
it was natives. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey,
Huh.
They're called natives. Hey, let me ask
The
you.
Native Americans. I'm sorry.
You guys ever been out there?
Jokes in the current climate we're in made me just pull those.
You're out there living on. You're out there living. You're on drugs. You're homeless. You're out there living. What? Give us when you get up. Are you sleeping at night or are you up all night?
I'm up all night.
What about you, Sam?
I don't know. It depends. Yeah, that part of my life, man, it's still, I'm not going to get like emotional, but man, like
it wasn't fun.
No, it was like this thing where I just felt really trapped. And actually, I don't know why I say I felt trapped. Like I was trapped because basically, like I didn't want to do drugs, and I also could not stand the way I felt sober. You know what I mean? So here's the deal. Like people think about like I was never running to get high. Like that's not what it was. I never wanted to get high. I wasn't running to that. I was running away from my feelings when I was sober. And that was from the get-go. Like before I was 12, I was scared of my dad. My dad died, and then I was scared of everything else.
So
and
did you have a pretty bad relationship with your father?
It's complicated. Yeah. He was a lieutenant colonel in the Air Force, and he didn't spare the rod, and he drank, and then he died.
See, now that's the thing that's amazing. I had a stepdad that was the same way.
Yeah.
He was horrible, and I spent my entire life terrified of him. When we were kids and we were bad, he didn't spank us, but he would make us stand in the driveway, and he'd take a run at us with his ranchero.
Oh my gosh, dude.
My dad
I'm kidding,
did.
Todd.
That's brain damage. What's it? I mean, how do you deal with things now? Now that you guys are sober, have you guys learned the tools on how to deal with life now?
Both me and Mike are in recovery programs that we can't talk about.
Okay.
And also I got therapy too. And I recommend men that have had hard backgrounds to get therapy and deal with trauma. Otherwise they put it on other people. And that's the thing is I've never I got an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old, and I've never put my hands on them. And not that I know that some people spank, and I don't have any opinions on that at all. Like I don't do it, but like I will never do that with my kids. You know,
by the look of you, you wouldn't have to spank them. Just show up and
say,
cut that out.
Yeah, my
the dad voice.
Scary.
My dad was my size, and here's the thing about my dad.
I'm a little scared of him. Yeah, aren't you guys?
He's dead. I love him, but yeah, I was terrified of my dad.
I was too. I was constantly afraid of him. I'd get in trouble. He told me one time I did something. This is an example of my stepfather. He told me, and he says, "I'm too pissed off to even talk to you right now." And he walked away, and I'm going, cool. Because I'd rather not deal with what I normally deal with. I'm not kidding. 2 days later, we're walking down the hall in our house, and I pass him, and I'm thinking, He punched me in the gut, doubled me over, and it was like, and then he says, well, this is for the other night when I was too mad. And I'm thinking, geez, what would you have done then? Yeah. I mean, that guy. So I'd be the kid in the store if he raised his hand.
How important is it to be a good dad?
It's the most important thing in the world.
To break that cycle. It's so important out there.
And absolutely, me, my brother, my 2 sisters all broke the cycle. I would put myself against anybody on this planet as being a good, loving dad.
That's awesome.
Got 3 daughters. Got
way to go, Nelson. I love it. I love seeing that. I love seeing that when you became a Christian, and I've talked to you several times about that.
I was a good dad before that too.
I love watching your faith, because you know what? It hasn't been easy the last few years in your life.
No, I mean, life has just beat the donkey stuffings out of me.
But your faith is real.
I'm doing okay. I mean,
your faith is real, man. You're in the trenches. Faith is real.
Ultimately, that's where my hope is. There's something better on the other side. I do believe there is another side, and no matter what happens here, I'm counting on that. But at the same time, I want to represent him well here too. Yeah. And that's not being a goody 2-shoes, because I suck. I'm horrible. Follow me for a day. I keep waiting for God to send me an email. I've changed my mind. You suck. But
you know
just
what?
Being kind.
Part of the reason why I want to go back on TV, and I really don't want to, is that we have something else to say. Maybe we have something else as a family to share. Maybe there's some situation that we're going to get involved in that can encourage people, because we've gotten emails all the time. We still do, of how, I started my business because of the courage that I saw in you, even though you were having hard times, this, that, and the other. So that's another thing, is that people are looking at you, Mike, Sam, people are watching us.
When they see you, when they see you've made it, it gives them hope.
really does.
My biggest thing, far beyond the stuff that I dealt with when I was younger with drugs, because that just scared me so bad. I thought I was going to die, and I was able to quit. But later in life, even now, still dealing with it, is my anxiety disorder. I have kind of an unusual form of OCD that completely manifests itself in extreme anxiety. And that's something that's been harder to deal with than drugs.
Do you talk to people about it?
I used to have a therapist. I haven't been able to see a therapist in a long time, but recently I was able to get medical insurance again, can see my doctor, and I'm back on medication, and it's helping. But I still struggle.
That's money in the bank, though. That's accountability. Like, that's the thing with mental health and drug addiction and me, is it like, if I know what's going on with me, like, for sure, like, I got dealt a bad hand. I'm not going to say I didn't, but I need to take accountability for that. Like, once you know, if you don't take accountability and then you put that on other people, especially your kids, like, you got to get on that.
When I hear people talking, drug addiction, alcohol, it's the same type of thing. But like currently now, where you hear about so many people that are dealing with anxiety and depression and the darkness that comes, I'm telling you, whenever I hear somebody say that, I go right there, because I've sat there. I've been in that darkness and felt so hopeless. If it wasn't for my belief in God and me knowing that that's not what he wanted me to do, I would have taken my life.
How many of us have lost some friends in the last year or two to suicide or suicide through drug?
A kind of a friend of a friend, a suicide in the past year, but nobody close to
it. Was a rough couple of years, when they clamped down on everything and people got isolated, started getting real bad.
Really,
Mike,
really
got something on that?
Yeah, it really stirs that up. So many people. I'm involved in a lot of recovery groups on Facebook and stuff, and just the outcry for people, during this isolation was just enormous. And so I found myself kind of jumping in there and trying to help people with, just positive messages, reaching out, driving people to treatment centers as they needed, and just, whatever you can do to help, give back, because people help me, and so I really want to be there for someone else when they're ready, because that's a miracle right there.
I really want you guys to come up and do a show up at the VFW building.
Yeah, let's do it.
I really want you guys to
I'll
come
tear
up
it
to
up,
Sandy.
man. I'd love that.
I'm planning on it, Sam.
I love doing stand-up comedy, but I extra love doing Mike stuff and doing recovery comedy. Like, there's something special that happens when I'm around people that have the similar story that I do.
I got that connection.
It's beautiful. You know what's funny is, even I do shows sometimes, like I'm going to Tri-Cities and people will be drunk. And I don't know if you've been to Tri-Cities, but people are very drunk in the Tri-Cities.
Oh yeah.
And that's cool, and I love it, and I'm grateful for it. But no matter how tough a crowd is, if I tell 7 methamphetamine jokes in a row, they'll shut down. I guarantee it. And then especially if I start doing my jail jokes, then they're really gonna shut down.
Oh, prison humor.
Yeah,
you guys
tough. That's tough on them suburbanites.
Did you do some time, Sam?
I did a little bit of time. Yeah.
What was that like?
It was horrible. Yeah, I was 19. They sent me to the Yakima jail.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. If you want to know what the Yakima jail is like, it's pretty much just like Yakima.
With bars.
But the jail, that's what I tell people. The Yakima jail is like Yakima.
No offense, Yakima. We love you guys up there.
I don't.
Sam does not.
Honesty, I love it.
It's funny. Yeah. We don't get up there
Yakima
much.
blows.
Yakima is hot Kelso.
Oh,
Kick them while they're down.
Yeah, there's gonna be some guys looking for you. Anything on your minds that you want to share before we sign off? Tell me about relationships. I mean, I know you've had some tough times with that. You're newly married.
Mm-hmm.
How long you been married?
Got married New Year's Eve of 2019. Just in time for 2020 to
man,
kick off.
It was all just getting started.
Yeah. We're thinking this might have caused it all. That marriage might have caused it.
Yeah.
Of course, it got you out of a lot of crap that guys don't like to do.
Are you gonna, Nelson? Are you gonna date again, or are you gonna?
I'm actually seeing somebody right now. She's really nice, but I have a hard time, and I don't know how much she really likes me.
Oh,
I don't like me. Why would she?
We know it's it's not for your money.
Hard. It's
Could just be for your body.
You know, this dancer's body, you know, I've always been blessed.
His body's fine. Like I'm like a fairly straight person, and his body's fine.
Well, thank you. I wish I had a tattoo. We could make them kiss.
So, how about you, man? How long you been?
Man, I've been happily married to a wonderful wife, Brittany, for 11 or 12 years.
Oh,
See,
that's
I
great.
don't know if this got on. We were talking about this before we went on. You were homeless and had a date with her. Tell me what you said
me.
to
No,
her.
I'll tell you, I was 4 months sober when I met my wife. I was bouncing at a bar and living on couches with other people in recovery. And yeah, we met on the night, and she wanted to go back to my place, and I was like,
Can't.
Oh, it's too messy.
No. I actually told her that me and my roommates weren't getting along. And I have a joke, and I'm like, my roommates were seagulls.
Yeah.
But yeah, I went to her house, and I walked in, and I asked if I could take a shower.
Oh my god!
And you know what? It wasn't
me,
a deal breaker. That's how smooth I am.
You know
It
what's
wasn't
kind
a
of
deal
weird
breaker.
though? He asked me when he got here if he could take a shower.
Well, he
No,
was
I
saying
said
earlier.
I stink. I don't
It's
want to
sick.
take a shower.
Yeah, why is he saying you stink? We don't care. We don't care about that.
I mean, that would be a story. I'm like, you know, Todd Hoffman from Gold Rush.
He
took a
smells horrible.
shower at his house. It was a
Not-
power move.
And the worst part is he was looking at
It
me.
was at his place, not with him.
Yeah, that's place.
And
Make sure you say
I want to
that.
say this too. I am I love Gold Rush. Like
Dude,
it's
I
a
love it.
show that I like. It's rare. Like I have no attention span because of the meth. And I'm actually like, yeah. And I used to, unlike Mike, I was a thief, and I love gold. That's the
Dude, I
best.
love it. Way to go.
And
Yeah.
it would be so easy to steal from what I've seen on the show.
It
Just
would
put a
be.
little bit of the old powder in my pocket. No,
You know
All
what?
those guys
sluice it
are
in my
awesome.
room later.
Yeah.
And that's where we're at. We would love to return. I mean, Hunter, my dad. I think it's ready. It's time if we do it. But everything's got to be right.
Todd, if we're gonna do this again, we gotta get up there and get started earlier this
I
time.
just wanna-
Want to hear my
Don't worry.
impression of Tony Beats?
Yeah, go ahead.
Arthur, if you're going to find the gold, you need to drill holes, drill holes, drill holes.
That's perfect.
Because that's the blanking way you find the blanking gold. And my blanking wife is full of blank, and I don't like to even be in the room.
Dude, yeah.
So let's get back out there and see what you kids can do.
I found
I'm
out.
going to go into
I
town and
found
drink chocolate milk and get it in my beard.
one time, Tony, we were doing something, and he goes, "I go, how many kids do you have?" He goes, "I got 5, 3 I like."
He would say.
He should do comedy.
Oh, dude,
I
he's
like
funny.
funny.
Oh yeah.
I just want to say, I told my wife, it actually became a catchphrase in our house was "No guts, no glory."
Yeah.
And I said
worry,
it, Brittany. I
Todd.
said that I would try to say it. I said it, Brittany.
You know what? A long time ago, I made my dad do a few recordings for like a ringtone or something. I put
Yeah.
it on some site, and every 3 days I get like 91 cents.
Nice.
And I think it was when I said, "Dad, record this." "No guts, no glory." And he put that on there, and every once in a while somebody downloads it somewhere in the world, and I
Wow,
get
that's
91 cents. I can't remember where, but they somehow still have my account. So I get these little notices like 91 cents. Right? And it just makes me laugh.
You get a check for 86 cents or something.
Dude, that's
Comes
been
in the
happening
mail.
for years, man.
Well, that's
Nice.
funny though.
So comedy night, when is the next time? When is the next show? How do we find you? I mean, how do we get to appear?
I've got a couple of unloaded comedy shows on the books. One is going to be, they're both actually kind of benefit deals. The first one is Save the URS Club in Portland. And it's going to be July 17th. And it's going to be kind of an afternoon, evening type thing. And we're going on stage at 6 p.m. And it's going to be right around, it's an outdoor event, 192nd and Stark, I believe. Is the location there, and then we're gonna do.
Should we bring our own bulletproof vest, or do we?
Yeah, it's a little rough there. And then we're gonna be at the Recovery Rock Fest in August 21st,
Oh, cool.
in Oregon City at the end of the Oregon Trail Amphitheater.
I'll be at that one too. I'm really pumped.
Yeah, Sam's gonna be at the Recovery Rock Fest, and I got a host of other great comics at the URS Club event. And then we're looking for events, man. We're trying to get the word out there.
I'd like to do a little show early July.
Okay.
up there at the VFW.
Okay, that
You
sounds
do
great.
some singing,
Cool.
Todd?
I got a new song. We're shooting the video.
Is it
Just
an
now.
original?
It's an original song
Very good.
Nice.
written by Will here. I'll just say Will, and he's here in Sandy, local guy, and we've been really dumping some money into this song, really working on it. And
I can't believe the
it's pretty
first
cool.
time when I heard, Todd's gonna sing. First time I heard
Yeah,
him sing, I
he's
was
great.
blown away.
He's great.
How can something so beautiful come out of such a toad like you?
Absolutely. That's what
I'll
everybody
take you
asks.
by the goatee and swing you around.
Come out of there. That was just incredible
Hey,
talent.
will you, as we close the Hoffman Report, will you say a quick little prayer for these guys for what they do, the good work that they do,
Absolutely.
and us too, and everybody out there that's listening? Will you say a quick prayer and then we'll sign
I will.
off?
Gracious God and Heavenly Father, thank you for the time that we got to spend today talking about something that is so serious and so devastating to lives, Lord, and that these guys, you've helped them come back around, and that they're able to make people laugh from something so horrendous that happened in their life. Lord, just continue to bless them in the path that they're on. Use them and they're being able to come out of it, Lord. Maybe that can be the thing that helps somebody get out of addiction as well. Lord, for Todd, his TV show, I pray that your hands will be on that. If he has something that you want him to say to people, it'll happen. If not, it won't. Just trust you, God. And for my life, things are going okay right now. No more pressure. I'd appreciate it if you'd let some good things come. Thank you, Lord, for your grace, your mercy, and your love. People have no idea that that's what you're about more than anything, grace and loving us. And we ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thanks for listening in, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming, guys.
Can we ride the motorcycle now?
Thanks for having
Absolutely.
us.
Get on there.
Let's fire up the
Fire it
chopper.
up. Fire it up.
Hey, motorcycles, the term crank
Came from that.
crankcases on motorcycles because the bikers used to traffic methamphetamine in them crankcases.
Really? That's how it started.
That's how it started. Yep, crankcase.
Dude, in case you didn't know.
Crank.
Boom.
Love and information.
We all